Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the iOS Truck Series. Tonight, these trucks will be taking on Iowa Speedway here. So this should be an exciting one. A little bit of short track action for these trucks. This is the first time that we've had a race on a short track in a while. So this should be a fun one. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight, Atlee Atman-Weiss, and joining me tonight to call the action is iRacer and member of the iRacing Oval Series, Dylan Redding. Dylan, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Atlee. It's good to be here. I'm excited for this one. As far as I know, this is the first time the trucks here at iOS have been at Iowa Speedway, and this track really is just widely considered to be one of the best, if not the best, tracks on the iRacing simulation for the trucks. You can run high, you can run low. We should see a lot of great side-by-side action tonight. And these guys are making a push for the playoffs, so this should be a fun one.
Yep, right now, here's how the point standings is looking like after 8 races. Currently, Stephen Black is your points leader. He's got 5 wins this season, has absolutely dominated the series, and he's got a 56-point lead over Logan Hagerman right now. Kyle Mays is third. Joe Wright, he gained 6 spots after the race at Daytona Road Course. He had a fantastic race. He is in 4th. And then Brian Nudie, he is in 5th. He is your biggest mover. Gained 7 spots after Daytona Road Course. We know that he's kind of a road course specialist. And also with the team standings currently, Intensity Racing and YXU have been back and forth, but Intensity Racing team takes back the lead. And a lot of it is because of the fact that Logan Hagerman has had such a fantastic season, and also the Joe Wright, he had a fantastic performance last week. YXU Racing, though, not to be outdone. They have 2 drivers in the top 10, Colin Willems, Cody Moore. We see Team Mays is in 3rd. No, the Mays boys are always up front. Right now, the driver in the top 10 for there is they got Kyle Mays in the top 10. Cyclone is currently in 4th, and then in 5th, making a pass over Carolina Sim. 2 pedals, 1 clutch has made their way into the top 5, and that a lot of that is because of Brian Nudie's 2nd place finish last week at Daytona Road Course. So there's how your point standings are looking like now. I believe how many drivers will make the playoffs, and we can look at the cutout. Do you know, Dylan?
It should be 12, Atlee, I think, as far as I know.
So 12. Right now, the driver in 12th is Todd Mays. Right behind them, though, is we see Brian Merle Jr. And there is only 2 points that separate Merle and Todd Mays.
And Atlee, it looks like Stephen Black will not be racing tonight. We know that he's been dominating this circuit this season, and he's certainly more than locked into the playoffs. But what this means is that some of these guys that are looking for a good run and perhaps a win, the window is wide open. The opportunity is here, and these guys are going to be well aware of that as they head towards the green flag.
Yeah, just like the NASCAR Cup Series, a win will lock you into the playoffs. So far, the drivers that are locked in include, like you mentioned, Stephen Black, Kyle Mays, and Brian Nudie and TJ Floyd are the 4 drivers that are currently locked in. The rest of the 6 drivers, it's going to be a battle between everyone. And the main battle that we're going to watch right now is between Todd Mays and Brian Merle Jr., who are fighting for that 12th and final playoff spot. We'll be watching for both of them to try to get a good performance tonight. Here we go. We are currently getting ready for qualifying. Got some cars getting on track, and we'll watch and see who is the fastest. Daniel Michel was the fastest in practice, so we'll see if that's the same.
Yeah, we had some familiar names at the top of the leaderboard for practice times, guys like Daniel Michel, Colin Willems, Devin Bacino, Brian Canuti. So there's the normal faces towards the front of the leaderboard, but qualifying, as we've seen so far this season, can be a much different animal, whether it be the track changing or the drivers not having the benefit of the draft. When they get by themselves out on the track for qualifying, sometimes we see some different lap times and some different guys towards the front.
Yep, and track position can mean a lot at a track like Iowa Speedway, where there's tire wear, where there's different grooves, so we'll see how it all plays out. Daniel Michel, he was your leader in practice. He was in first, and then we see Devin Buccino gains 100th over Daniel Michel. Buccino currently is in the lead. Daniel Michel still in second. Kyle Mays in third. Buccino and Michel are the only two drivers to have broken into the 23 seconds. Let's see if Buccino can improve on lap number 2. He does. He gains another 100th. So Devin Buccino is looking like the one to beat so far. Kyle Mays able to break into the 23s. 23.93 is his fast time. Only 200ths off of second. So far, we've seen a lot of close qualifying at the moment. We've got also Stoney Benfield. He's got a top 3 this season. He has a 24.11.
Yep. I see Jackson Qualley back in the lineup tonight. Welcome back to Jackson. It's been a few weeks since we saw him. Longtime veteran of iRacing Over Series. I'm sure these guys are happy to have him back racing tonight.
Yep, he's only raced 4 out of the 8 races this season, so very happy to see that Jackson is currently in the field for tonight's race. He hasn't attempted to qualify yet, but we'll cover it when he does. Looks like Kyle Mays is staying out on track for some extra practice time, even after he's completed his lap times. And Kyle Mays currently is third right now. He is fast at the moment, and there we see him practicing his pit stop. He barely missed the pits, almost hit the yellow barrels. And if we do have a green flag run, we are going to see green flag pit stops, because it's going to be very important that these drivers go in and get those fresh tires, because it's hard to run without them. In fact, we have 2 sets of tires for tonight's race.
And it is possible that we'll see some green flag pit stops, Atlee. Iowa is, you can call it a short track, but it doesn't really race like one. There's a lot of room to maneuver, multiple grooves, and we're late in the season. These guys have been racing together for a while. I expect to see some long runs and perhaps some competitive green flag pit stops.
There you have it. There's Iowa Speedway right there. And here is your race info right now. Air temperature 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 60% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 5 miles per hour wind speed. The sun is beating on the track right now. 105 degrees is the track temperature. It's going to be a pretty slick track for these drivers. And right now, track link is 0.89. So one of the longer short tracks on the iRacing platform. This should be a fun one.
And it looks like a sizable portion of the field is opting not to qualify, at least 10 drivers or so. It's a reasonable strategy, but if it were me, Atlee, I'd be worried about track position. These cars get spread out on this track, and it can be hard to make up ground. So I'm curious to see if some of these guys that haven't qualified yet are going to come out and turn a lap.
We see there goes Colin Willems. He's on track right now, as is TJ Floyd. Here's Colin Willems on his first lap. He's right in between those 2 white lines in the turns, up against the wall. And once again, right in about the middle of the track in the turns there for Colin. Also see Nick Mather, Keith Miller getting on track. Let's take a look. You see Colin Willems to 8th into the top 10. 24.10 is his fastest time. That is 700ths off of 7th place, Todd Mays. Let's see if he can improve on this next lap.
And I've noticed that he's struggling with the back of his truck on corner exit. He does pretty well holding on to it there, but I've seen a couple wobbles, and that'll be something to keep an eye on fresh tires. These trucks do get quite loose on the exit of turns 2 and 4.
Colin Willems able to pass Brandon White and Todd Mays there, and he gets to 6th on the board. Eddie Morse is on track right now, and that 8 machine getting ready for his first lap. I know the 2 main things when I talked to some of the drivers that they talked about that are going to play a key role in this race is going to be tire wear and turn 4. A lot of drivers have been getting loose off of turn 4. I've seen it in practice. It is a tricky turn off of exit, so we'll see how these drivers handle it here throughout this race. Another thing is going to be keeping a steady wheel. The more you turn the wheel, the more you're shaving off your lap time. So keeping a steady wheel should be good, especially here during qualifying. And it'll keep your car stable. We see Eddie Morris just 6th, 23.99. He is one of only 6 drivers to break into the 23s. And he's only 100th off of Isaiah Gill. Can he improve and potentially beat Isaiah? He does not improve, so he's going to settle into 6th. We got Sylvain Seguin currently going on track right now. Yes, Devin, we are live on Facebook currently. We should be. I can check.
Sylvain Seguin with a new livery tonight with the red and white. He seems to have a different truck just about every week. Makes me jealous. I wish I had time to come up with the new and inventive paint schemes, but I always like to check in and see what he's driving each week. And got a new one for tonight here at Iowa, but it looks like he's turns a 24.694 that lap.
So looks like we are having some problems. The broadcast is not on Facebook, so we're going to go ahead and try to get it on there. We're going to end the stream and try to get it back up. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but stay put because we are going to be back with the racing action.